What else you got over here?
Well, Darren, my friend, have you ever watched Scientology testimonial videos?
I think, probably when we were doing the episode, they came across.
I think that some of these have been made public.
Coerced at gunpoint? Oh,
yeah. Been made more public in the intervening years between our expose of Scientology and our early
really took them down.
Days of our show. Yeah. With Leah Remini's program now in its third season, doing a lot of great work to expose this stuff.
And Scientology, they can't put stuff on the internet.
They have their own network now.
They must, because it'd be too easy for outsiders, I think, to kind of go, look at this crazy.
Well, I don't know who they produced this for. I don't know if it's for like new investigators or something, but these are testimonials of active Scientologists who think it's the best, and the terms that they throw around.
Do you ever have the fear that like you're wasting your life? Because I certainly do.
Sure.
Yeah, just like every now and then. But then I think there's no testimony video for Scientology with me in it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I'm wherever on the ladder I am.
Yeah.
I'm above that.
Yeah. Good for you.
Let's see what we got here.
Okay. Sick music.
Oh, it's so good. The Onion News.
This is going to be known as the time when Scientology really started to move and clear the planet. Everyone's going to look back and go, this is when it really started. That's the golden age of knowledge.
It's golden age.
This is 2006.
It actually says it what it says. It is a new age of knowledge.
There's an old saying, you can't really know a man until you walk a mile in his shoes.
Yeah, don't shit a shitter.
That's what
Another
we're
one.
doing.
The golden age of knowledge absolutely, positively changed me into this smiling face that you see right now.
Look at him.
It made me who I am. And when people look at me, they don't know what they see, but they see something.
They don't know what they see.
They see a hair clip for Men Survivor.
See for real that, you're not in the meshed universe, and I'm not
What
in
is
the
that?
meshed universe.
The meshed universe?
Yeah.
Congresses, they are possibly the most far-reaching release yet.
The Congresses are like a L. Ron Hubbard
TED Talk
series of,
they can wake the dead.
And I
What?
Every Scientologist was listening to all the Congresses. I listened to all the Congresses, seen LRH, and we were all on the same page. It makes a completely different picture of Scientology worldwide. Completely.
After the Congresses, I'm a Scientologist.
I'm a Scientologist.
I really feel like a Scientologist. And
Finally.
Sort of feel like an old school Scientologist. What I meant to be an old school Scientologist, training and co-auditing at St. Hill. I got that sort of feeling that I'm part of the team.
I mean, if you ask someone, have you been listening to Congresses, they just go right up the tone scale.
Right up the tone scale.
That comes to mind when I think of the Congresses, and that is action.
Action. It's way up the scale. They give a new freedom of action in terms of application.
Why? Because I'm addressing that which is most important to me. What? The true nature of myself.
And that
Exactly.
is the
It's just like,
foundation
they're
that
not saying
civilizations
anything.
are built on. So
No.
it's the beginning of the new civilization.
So I can compare the golden age of knowledge to the brightest star because it just puts so much light into people's lives.
Sure.
You're trying to define something that doesn't exist.
Between being in the dark and being in the light.
I don't believe I can
What are you talking about?
anything. It's the benchmark.
My cognition from listening to the Congresses was that when you listen to a Congress, you are connecting to power. That's what source is, power.
The best word that I have, power.
For the listener, a lot of these words are capitalized in the video, so
They have a definition to them.
yeah.
I just evaporated it.
I suppose having
What?
a golden age
What are you talking about?
is like having a lifeline.
Please give an example.
I used to feel like the twig blowing in the breeze, and now I feel like the oak tree is like, bring it on.
I would compare
Wow.
it to having a session. It's like you're getting auditing in each lecture you listen to. Every single lecture to me is like a session.
If they want to save on
Okay.
intensity,
Okay.
they're having a
Good.
routine. Listen to the tapes. You're going to save a lot of intensities.
The golden age of knowledge is cognition after cognition after cognition after cognition.
I have cognitions and realizations.
I think she's an actress.
And
I recognize
really
her.
start to apply these things to
Yeah.
my life. It's made such a huge difference. awesome.
Just like
I've completed all the
it's an acting commercial.
And when I got to the end, I was like, oh my God, I don't have congresses anymore.
Oh, no.
So I started them over.
I just hated actually to come to the end. In fact, I hated it so much, I just started all over again.
Seeing LRH actually in person just gave me a total new reality on the individual, on the man himself. And one of the things I didn't know about him is that he's quite a prankster. He had quite a sense of humor.
Oh, is he?
Oh.
Yeah, he pranks all you
swindling
nerds.
billions of dollars.
Yeah. And all the motions.
Silly goose.
And like when he laughs, like you're laughing.
But when you see his face and you see the gestures that he makes, and it's just, you can't help
His
but
gestures
fall in love
are
with
so magical.
LRH all over again.
It's like a big reality. There he is. His red hair. I stare at it. And
That is so gross.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to see him in real life, and
No, you didn't.
I can tell that he's a man of all men.
And he's full of life, and his hand gestures.
What is that?
You literally
His
see his
gestures are
mock-ups
so
right there.
incredible that
You get the
they're
idea.
remarkable.
It's truly something.
He's just saying, come on, this is what we're trying to do here. You know, help me, I'll help you.
I think all these people were walking
really
by in the
feel it.
hallway,
I mean,
and the producers said, "Like, get in
can't get
here."
that in the other
Yeah.
Why?
KSW.
Shut up and start talking about things.
What's a KSW point?
Knowing the correct technology.
You
KSW.
have the technology, and you know the technology, and that gets your KSW
She-
in, and then you apply it.
There's something wrong with her.
Revolution.
Yeah.
It's everything. You know, it's just contagious.
A daily meeting with Source.
You're in the checking out
Capitalized
the
Capitalist
series.
source, yeah.
You're in for a wild ride.
I'm like exhilarated, you know? It's just-
It's a beautiful thing.
Keys me out.
Because I'm cost.
and that's magic.
What?
It's magic.
Because I'm cause.
Groundbreaking.
New dimension.
This is how we're going to change the future of the galaxies. I think the golden age of knowledge is the thing that's going to take
This
us all
music
to the
is
stars.
so
know.
intense.
I feel like I'm
Out
having a
of this
seizure.
universe. It is straight out of this universe.
Remember her? Erica Christensen?
Oh.
Actress. So, for the listener, so that was played at some sort of event. You could hear the clapping at the end.
Yeah. I mean, it probably made a lot more sense to people than
Yeah.
knew what they-
Like, yes.
that wasn't for us. That was
No,
for
no.
That was for
But this was uploaded by Tony Ortega, who is a former, I think, high up Scientologist.
Yeah.
He's defected. So the title of the video is Erica Christensen in Wild 2006 Scientology Testimonial. And wild it is.
wow.
Whoa. Who is making that music and like is pumped on it? All of these videos have that. Even like recent videos have this ridiculous, grandiose electronic keyboard like.
Yeah, I bet that they have. You know, there are members who.
Oh yeah.
Are somewhat wannabe musicians or producers, and then we'll give you a free audit if you produce some
sick tracks.
We
For
need
us.
some like energetic, high impact.
Yeah.
We don't have any money, so just do it with GarageBand and
yeah.
Or we're not giving you any money. We need that
Definitely
money.
not. We need you to pay us.
You can put this on your resume.
I mean, people need to see this.
It's a resume builder.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
You can work on spec. Yeah, and when you're done with that, go get in like the dungeon because you were a naughty boy.
Get to the hole.
God, the hole. Gold base.
Mm-hmm. Have you watched Remini's show at all?
No, I've seen like clips and stuff though.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Is it still on?
Yeah. Third season just started a couple weeks ago.
I wonder what is the security cost or security risk to her?
Scientologists I don't understand how wild they get about accosting people who have anything negative or even just questioning about the church. They'll dig through your trash. They'll film you at every chance they get, either right in front of your face or from afar. They'll buy houses across from you so they can survey you all the time.
Yeah.
It's so intense. But I don't know what the end game is.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't take pictures of you in your house.
They do.
That's
long range lenses.
That's
and
super
stuff.
illegal though.
Yeah. They are definitely operating outside of legal grounds.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
It kind of feels like a death throw of desperation.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have so much money, like already, even just in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
The people at the top, they'll cash out.
And the parishioners are the ones paying for the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
They just keep just millions and millions of dollars. They build these buildings as if there's a need for them, and then they're practically empty most of the time. They have these big opening events and ribbon cuttings. There's all these people there, and then the next week, ghost.
Yeah, I mean, well, they don't pay tax, right?
Right.
So essentially, as long as once they
have to spend the money, or else they risk their tax-exempt status if they're building up riches. And I think the Mormon Church has the same problem.
Yeah.
Where they have billions and billions of dollars.
They
have to build more temples and stuff.
But I mean, the Catholic Church has got tons. I mean, what keeps them taxes exempt?
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know actually what the tax status is, because you hear like, the churches don't. If you're a religion, you don't pay taxes. But what does that actually mean? What are the requirements? Because if with Scientologists, it seems like they just beat the IRS to death with lawsuits and legal action and letters and finally, I think the IRS was like, fine.
Exhaustive.
Yeah. And I think that's the same tactic they do with private citizens or people that leave the church or people that, talk about the church. It's strange, though, that it's not like they haven't just gone bankrupt at this point, or
there doesn't seem to be that many actual active members.
Right.
Certainly not as much as they claim.
Yeah. It's like 15,000 or something.
It seems a realistic number seems to be in the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Which
worldwide
is ridiculously small for how big they.
But you consider, if everyone is basically using every paycheck to buy classes, you don't need that many if everyone's giving 100%.
Right.
You're talking about the tithing in the Mormon Church and 10%. I mean,
that adds up to billions a year.
Scientology must be way over 10%.
Oh yeah, people have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time.
Yeah.
Over and over again, accumulating millions per person.
I guess you must just be hanging on to the faith of it.
Yeah.
Because how could you not be stressed out of your mind? I just gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to this church.
And they want more.
How could you
I know
not
you have it.
Be a ball of stress?
We need this building. Why are you not giving more? Mortgage your house. Take a loan. We know you can manage to stay financially solvent. No, I can't. I'm giving you so much.
I'm not mortgaging my house.
Right?
I'm not going to mortgage my house for you.
I think I have seen some reports that the Mormon Church is like overspending on temples in order to spend the money that they're getting.
$400 hammer kind of thing.
Yeah. Or like overpaying contractors.
Yeah.
Because they announced, I think, another 15, let me look it up. Another large number of temples.
How many temples are there to begin with? I don't see a lot of Mormon temples, and I don't really remember. Well, maybe there's one where I grew up. I don't really grow up with any Mormons.
Yeah.
I don't think. It's not really in New England. It's like Catholic and Protestant. Yeah, it is, again, like if you have any interest in living a more productive and full life, I guess it's self-deception, and we can all fall prey to that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they feel like they're actually producing something of value, but to just not see that it's a pyramid scheme at best, and it's self-destructive cult, probably more likely. I think it doesn't seem like people get out of there alive.
Certainly not Scientology.
Yeah,
I mean, there's not Mormons outside of my house taking pictures and harassing me, but if I was a former Scientologist and we were talking like this, there likely would be.
I would get like 2 guard dogs and like start buying katana swords and just like sharpen them on my front. Like, hey, how are you?
Shing, shing.
What are you up to?
Hey guys, get a picture of this. There's 161 dedicated temples right now. 151 open, 10 previously dedicated but closed for renovation. This is on Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
10 under construction and 30 announced, not yet under construction.
Mostly in the States and then some overseas?
There's many overseas.
Really?
Yeah. There's one in Japan, which is beautiful. I mean, these are really gorgeous buildings, truth be told.
It would be cool if they went bankrupt, just to like get one of these on foreclosure. You know?
Fire sale.
Scientology building or Mormon building.
That's an interesting, like, what if in the next 40, 50 years, the church sees a real decline and potentially has to sell off some of these properties? What would happen to them?
I have a feeling that it'll probably stay the same size for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not going to grow exponentially.
Growth has declined.
Yeah. I don't see... I don't see like as technology, like the internet is pervasive across the globe. I don't know. I think like with every advance of science, technology, engineering, it's less and less likely. Like the only way to get, I think, a new believer is someone who has no hope to begin with, you know. But when you have, you know, when the tribes in New Guinea are on Facebook, I don't like the missionaries be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like nothing lasts forever. And I don't think religions, I mean, before Judaism and Christianity and Islam, I mean, they're all successive of something else. You know, you go back 10,000 years, there was just like spirit worship and
yeah.
I mean, it's like nothing new under the sun. And I think that it's a matter of time. I think especially with Mormons, they don't have the history that goes back 2,000 years where it's like it was a part of culture. It was a part of the spread of human beings. They kind of came in so late. There aren't enough new people to meet, you know, that you can say, hey, have you heard the good word?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a truly American religion.
Yeah. And it makes no sense too. So if you...
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
It's tough it's a tough sell, you know, if...
It's getting tougher.
If what you're selling doesn't square with the reality people live, I don't know. Like that's the end. It's a non-starter. You know?
It's not a surprise that it gained traction in the beginning with the magical worldview of people at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about...
Golden plates, buried treasure.
Yeah.
Ancient inhabitants of the continent. Ooh. Tell me more.
Give those same people Netflix and they would be like, what? Shut up.
What
are you talking about?
Get out of here.
Were there dragons too?
Joseph.
You know?
Oh man, that'd be cool.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's Lord of the Rings. It was just, there was an ancient battle.
Yeah.
Elves versus orcs. You know, we're the elves.
Totally.
So go Team Elf. I feel a bit more pity for the Scientology folks because I feel like people aren't really born into it as often. Maybe that's more and more common now.
I think so.
You know, but it does seem like it was, if you ran down the list of people that joined, like, do you ever experience trauma as a child? Like, oh, weird, you know, or you have something else going on, like just, you're manic depressive. I can help you with that. You know, you don't have any access or you don't think you have access to any other kind of care or help or anything. You take desperate people. You know, I think that's what Scientology does. I think with the Mormons, it's like, it is a tradition now kind of passed down. Probably not as many new members coming in.
No.
But that's why I don't think it's going to grow, but I don't think it's really going to decline number-wise.
Yeah.
Unless it's people like you who, you're born into it, but in your adult life kind of went, had some questions.
There seems to be a lot more people leaving before their 20s or their, real adult life starts.
Yeah.
Once they can, they do. Like, oh, I don't live with my parents. I don't have to go to church anymore.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember, it's probably like 10 years ago, there was these videos on YouTube of guys getting two homeless guys. Like, I'll give each a bottle of vodka to fight.
Yeah.
Like a
Bum fights.
Yeah. That's kind of like Scientology to me. It's like, I feel so like you've got nothing else and you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And you're given more destructive behavior as a reward, you know? And like, no one is actually helping you, but you need the booze.
Yeah.
So you're going to
put up your dukes.
Put up the dukes.
Start punching.
You know?
Yeah, that's really sad.
It just does seem like a waste of a life.
Big time.
You're putting your faith...
And they just don't get it.
You're putting your faith into something outside of yourself. And people always say like, even if it's not true, religion does make people better people. It's bullshit. Like, belief in God is the only thing, or belief in the church is the only thing keeping you from going on a killing spree.
Yeah. That's a pretty extreme example.
Even like, that's what keeps you from, breaking the law, like driving too fast.
Yeah.
What? It's such a weak kind of
what would you do
excuse.
if you didn't have God?
Yeah.
Well, if you have the capacity to be a good person, you can be a good person through a variety of just on your own, or you can take a little of this. You can, you know what? You can hear the proposed teachings of Jesus Christ and adopt them as a pretty good way to treat people.
Yeah. It's not required though.
You don't have to believe that he was a real person or the literal son of God.
Yeah.
Same with the Buddha.
You don't have to go to church to live that way. You don't have to pay tithing. You don't have to engage in any way.
No.
And there are other social groups and activities you can engage in and have that sense of community. But the idea that it's all more than just community, living well, treating people with respect, that there's something more involved.
It's also very contradictory when you see something like Jehovah's Witnesses shunning. How is that Christ-like?
That's insane.
That's like the complete opposite of being a Christian.
Yeah.
The JWs might be going down definitely harder than the Mormons.
Yeah, they're a little too.
They're getting pretty exposed
nutty
lately. Yeah.
Whew. Mormons can kind of, they skate by as an organization as like, the missionaries are annoying if they show up at your door.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses are like trying to come in and talk to you.
Yeah, and you at the congregation level are expected to go out and do missionary work. In the Mormon church, you sign up.
Yeah, to go.
For a period of time. And then you can do that later in some form. You can do temple missions in other countries, especially when you're older. You can sign up to be a volunteer, but it's not forced upon you. But as a JW, you're expected to talk to your coworkers, talk to your friends at school.
When kids are like on a mission, I mean, are they just cold calling, like going door to door?
Yeah.
That's it?
Sometimes they have leads.
Have they ever been like shot for
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean...
There have been a few bigger stories of some missionaries have been killed. Especially in far off, less populated, more old world style, like that Christian missionary who went to that island and got
shot up
with an arrow, right?
Yeah, they more than one, I think.
Really?
I think he'd gone before too and held up a Bible and they hit the Bible with an arrow.
Ooh, why would you go back?
Yeah. Well, they clearly just needed to hear the good word.
Clearly.
There are a few things that there are a lot of things I want for my kids. And then there's a lot of things I just would feel like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah. Speaking of, when is your little baby daughter due?
Today's Sunday, and the due date is next Saturday. So
Whoa.
6 days.
So by the time this goes out, that baby's here.
Better be. Yeah.
And you are not sleeping.
Nope.
Nope. It better be.
Yeah. Yeah, the doctors that they won't let it go too much further past the due date. Eventually, what happens is like the placenta just erodes. Like it can't keep producing nutrition or energy for the baby. So
and you want to eat it, so we gotta keep that stuff fresh.
Saving. I just took the last bit of the first one out of the freezer and fried it up. So need to restock the fridge. You know what I mean? Hopefully, hopefully she comes right on time, and we have our fingers crossed. Knock on wood that it's
good,
smoother than the last time, and everyone's happy and healthy.
Any indication that there's any reason to not believe that?
No. No. So
it's going well.
Yeah, she's in there wiggling around. She's getting like Anne's starting to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's just like you can like feel her foot and stuff like through the skin.
That's crazy.
It's insane. With Leo, I took a month off. I had enough PTO to just take a month off, which was awesome. But I think, like looking back on it, it's really not until like 8 to 12 weeks that you kind of notice a change in the baby. Like the first couple months, it's just
like sleeping, pooping.
It's just it's like a 2 hour cycle that repeats. It's like eat, poop, sleep.
Yeah.
Eat, poop, sleep. Eat, poop, sleep.
Boring.
And every 2 hours, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Especially the first month. It's like, but they call it the fourth trimester.
Oh.
And I think from an evolutionary standpoint, human beings prioritized brain capacity or intelligence over time. So 20% of our calories that we burn is just thinking. Even if you're just sitting at rest, like 20% of the calories you're burning is just for your brain. So we have this big brain, whereas you look at other animals that just get up and run right after they're born. They prioritize getting up and running because there's a leopard that's going to come
survival
eat them. So human babies are so dependent on mom and dad because we prioritize that big brain. But if you let a baby develop in the womb to the point where they were more like developed to the point where they could kind of like sit up or hold their head up, they would be too big to fit through the birth canal.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to cut pregnancy short in order to protect mom in delivery, but also to, as a species, prioritize the big brain. So they call it the fourth trimester. Like you're too young to be born from kind of physiological. In some sense, you're too young to be born, but in other ways, it's the trade-off is if you have mom and dad or caregivers that take care of you and get you to adulthood, you will be way smarter than the gazelle that got up and started running after 15 minutes. But that's why babies are so helpless.
So squishy.
They're so squishy, and they're all curled up in there. The first like couple weeks, like, can you straighten your legs? It's like their tendons or ligaments are too tight. They have kind of bowed legs and cone heads. Cone head. But we're hopeful, that birth goes naturally and we get to just kind of hold her and hang out with her and get some of that bonding time right up front.
Skin to skin.
A little skin to skin.
Well, you got anything else you want
to? God is good. One love.
Praise be.
Too blessed to be stressed.
Where'd you get that one?
I have no idea. Probably heard it over the years.
Too blessed to be stressed.
It's good. Just like as life is falling apart.
Hey man, I'm just way too blessed to be stressed.
I'm too blessed to be stressed, man.
It's all good.
No job, no car, homeless, crippling addiction to substances and gambling and pornography, but hey, still here, aren't I?
Right.
What else is new with you? You have any kids?
No, not that I'm aware of.
No,
that's impossible. The time goes by and I don't know if it's going to happen. Of course, for me, it could happen a lot longer in the future than it can for a woman my age. But
yeah, you look great for 51 though.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Yeah. Oh, you're in your third. Oh
shit.
You look okay for.
Yeah, you're right. That's about right.
Yeah.
My ideal scenario was like by 37, I would like, if it's going to happen. That was how old my dad was when my youngest sister was born. That seems like I don't want to be 60 when my kid's graduating high school.
Yeah.
But maybe that's fine.
Yeah, and there are only so many facets of it you can plan. So
right.
Yeah, you don't want to be 60 when they're graduating high school, but
for a lot of people,
you might be. So
that's reality and still works. My only apprehension or anxiety is being too old too soon to have the kind of relationship with the child I want. You know, if you're in college and your dad's 70 years old, like how do you relate to that?
Yeah. Grandpa, dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your grandpa? No, it's my dad. Cool.
What?
What? Oh, yeah. I still think it's something that I want, but we'll see how it goes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool. Very interesting to see you from the time we met, which you and I met the night that we did our first episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a year and a half later, Leo was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen your hair turn gray.
Yep.
Right before my eyes.
Yep. Yeah. Hair.
And the life changes, like the stuff we talk about changes to more like big picture, long term.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
Planning, kind of like planning life.
Yeah.
Or trying to have a sense of a roadmap of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because I was texting with my college roommate who I moved to Portland with, and we were talking about something when he moved back to New England, but we were talking about something that happened like when we first moved here. And I was like, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And just in the blink of an eye. And then thinking about my first apartment, first living situation in Portland, flash forward 10 years, how insanely different my life is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's got to be true for everyone that has kids, but
sure,
you know, if you pick any moment and go back 10 years, you're a different person. But especially, I think with kids.
I mean, especially if you're doing it right. Like if you're still living the kind of life that you were before that,
there's no way.
Then probably not.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you and I talk about it all the time. Like I have it's just like vague memories of
when you leave this house, I'll be here alone. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want 24 hours a day.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, like work aside. Other than that,
I'm beholden to myself pretty much most of the time.
Yeah.
To be honest, giving that up, especially at this very moment, doesn't sound appealing.
Right.
It's a big trade-off.
Yeah, even if you got into like a serious relationship.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks so much time.
Yeah, you throw a kid in to the mix, it's like,
whoa.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
How
do you feel like, because as we get older, once you get out of school and things, we do tend to feel like time is moving faster.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel more so now that there's so much time in your day dedicated to other people?
Not especially.
Maybe not, because there's not so much like pastime activity. It's like attentiveness to other people and other situations.
It's funny, just yesterday we went back to our old neighborhood and went back to the park that we used to go to all the time. And our old house was right across the street. And we walk by the house, and we lived there for 3 years. And
Yeah.
we lived there as long as Leo's been alive. I think he has memories of that place still. I mean, we've only been out there a couple months, but they chopped down a giant tree that was up front. It was like a dead tree, and they chopped it down. Like some of the landscaping looks different, and that was actually looked like it was in good shape. But it was funny just to kind of being at the park, thinking like, we lived there for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's weird, like it didn't feel like it.
Right.
Like it doesn't feel like time's moving faster, but then you kind of go, that was 3 years ago. That was 5 years ago. That was.
I've noticed that when there's milestones,
Yeah.
like when you move to a different place, or you're not in school anymore.
Yep.
Or you stop doing this job. Like I had the same job for 9 years, and it's only been 4 months.
Yeah.
And it feels like much longer because it's a totally different scenario of my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And that feels very far behind me. It was just a few months ago.
Yep.
When I reached the age that my dad was when he had me, that was a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
From now on.
You're more than half his age.
Yep. And then getting closer and closer.
Yeah. There's the vanishing point at the end too, where it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
In 1,000 years, it doesn't matter if he lives 19 years more than you or 20. The same age.
Yeah.
My brother just did a big genealogy thing for our family, and it's like a family tree, but it goes back so far. It's like I had to zoom in way far, like to even see the names. It's that mean, it's this huge document, and it's back to like the 1500s. It's crazy. Wow. Yeah.
That's interesting to look at, but not that far back, people had no concept of that.
Yeah. Well,
and no way to know
because of the McCarthy side, or in I think a lot of our family, all the records were kept in the church, all like the Catholic Church records, like marriages and deaths and,
I mean,
that kind of stuff.
They did have a concept of that, but they could only, how far back could you really trace it without the kind of record keeping that we have now?
Yeah. It's probably just luck that any of those documents survive. I mean, I replaced the receptacle outlet in our house.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime I smell anything that's kind of smoke-like, I'm like, shit, did I burn the house down? Just paranoid. But you just think about how, especially when everything was candlelight and everything, how easy it would be for those documents just to be lost in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that anything written on paper or papyrus or anything would ever survive.
Right.
How?
Yeah.
If you look at anything,
weather handling,
anything paper, like a business card or anything like that, that's in my wallet is trashed.
Yep.
It's just in my wallet. It's not like.
Yeah, the paper documents of this generation, there's less of it because it's all backed up mostly digitally. So.
I wonder about that though too.
We could easily lose all that.
We could lose. I feel like we could lose more.
Yeah.
In a single event now than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Even as like we did this, talked about, you and I've talked about stocks and stuff. That so much of the world's money exists on computer mainframes.
Well, if there's a electromagnetism event,
the EMP like pulse thing, a solar flare. You have unprotected wiring, basically carrying information everywhere. And I think we could upgrade all the electric grid needs to be upgraded to hardened like wiring to protect against that kind of stuff. Especially as we move into a more and more digital age, and more everything is done online. It's like a existential threat at that point because society falls apart.
Yeah. Man, that would be chaos.
Well, it's funny too, because if the further down the road we go with everything being left on computers, like there's no hard copies, just flash forward 10,000 years, like, and assuming nothing catastrophic happens, then I can't imagine like paper being what it is today even.
Well, I mean, the process of making paper is going to be, I assume, more difficult if we keep taking the trees down to make it.
Yeah, but so if everything,
it might be like a valuable luxury.
Yeah, but so if there's a massive power outage failure, like kind of end of society event, we can't get it back on for years and years and years. all the information is wiped out.
Yeah.
It'd be like you'd have to come back thousands of years to have a record rather than like last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally just a thought experiment. But yeah, it's interesting to think about what artifacts exist or survive. There are these places on Earth where there was an obviously advanced civilization that made massive structures and no one knows who they were, what language
How
they
did
speak.
they do this?
They don't know. There's no existing
Like the pyramids?
Pyramids, but I think also in Central America, South America, Mexico. Just I think like the Aztecs basically they found kind of some cities. I think I need to look into that actually. I'm interested in that. But it's just these like cities in the jungle that maybe they were there for 2,000 years. Nothing survives. I mean, especially in the jungle, like nothing's really.
Right.
It'll all be consumed eventually, just moisture and decay. Yeah, but it's crazy to think that like this house without maintenance, would fall apart.
You see houses like that all the time, where
decades.
nobody's been there and it's just
falls apart.
Yeah.
And then eventually just sediment, soil, even like the foundation would be buried.
Yeah. If it's just totally at odds with the weather.
Yeah.
Like this house is constantly heated and cooled and
keeps it kept dry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think moisture is the big killer, obviously. But even like the roofing nails. Like once that roof erodes over time, all the nails rust, brings water into the attic, and then it's just the house caves in. Like that's what you need to replace your roof.
Garbage.
I think within like 50 years, this thing would be in the dirt.
Yeah.
Bunch of raccoons living in here. What was that? There was a book that came out like 15 years ago. The World Without Us. I forget who wrote it. And it was a thought experiment of like what would happen if every human being on Earth just like for the sake of this experiment just vanished. Like it wasn't like everyone died and there was a plague and
not that we weren't ever here, but we were here and then we were all gone.
Like someone snapped their fingers and all humans just disappeared. Like literally disappeared. And what would happen?
How spooky would that be?
Yeah, and he talked a lot about that, like just cities eroding, houses eroding. But he said within the first like 8 to 16 hours, all the nuclear reactors on Earth would explode. Because if there's no one there to man it, eventually like they couldn't cool. And there's like diesel backup generators, but they would run out of diesel. No one's bringing them more diesel.
Yeah.
So within a day, you have all these like massive explosions, and any aircraft that were up in the sky at the time would just like crash land somewhere. It's kind of interesting to think that, what would they hit? But even if they hit nothing and just land on the side of a mountain or something, just human wreckage would be spread there. And then go ahead 2,000 years and some lone survivors that were in a cave, emerge. And what is this world?
It wouldn't make any sense.
Some of the things that are here today that we think of, as out of time, the pyramids and Stonehenge and Machu Picchu and that kind of thing. They'd probably still be here, just be a little bit older. But they've survived this long, and they survived this long with people, utilizing that material. Like the pyramids, people would take the limestone and use it to build stuff. But if no one's here, like they would just kind of keep slowly eroding, but probably slower than like this house would be gone way faster than the pyramids.
Yeah. And we think of that stuff as ancient history.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So much time existed before all that. Cool stuff.
Can't wait to be a dad.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we are at a point where it's like I kind of have my phone on me all the time.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Oh boy.
Like every night we go to bed and it hasn't happened. I'm like, all right.
Well, could be tomorrow.
Could be tomorrow. Could be the middle of the night.
Could be in a couple of hours. Wow.
I don't know. One more day. Yeah, and my father-in-law is coming in on Wednesday. Hang out with the man.
Mm-hmm.
I told you he's already nicknamed the baby Pork Chop.
Yeah. You want to sing the song?
Yeah. It's the song we used to sing to Leo. It's the same rhythm, but he adopted it. Now for his sister, he says, "She's a little pork chop, just a little pork chop. She's a little pork chop, grill that chop."
And he came up with that?
Yeah.
Grill that chop.
I think so. I don't think we said it. I think I was grilling pork chops.
Yeah.
The night before.
Grill that chop.
Grill that chop.
I think that's a perfect ending.
Too cute.
Well, congrats.
Thanks.
It's happened by now, and I can't wait to meet her either.
Yeah. I'll bring her over. You can see the meconium. That's the black poop.
Cool.
It's fun stuff.
Cool.
Sticky black poop. Cool stuff. Yeah. Neat stuff.
Slick stuff.
All right, bud.
All right, bro. See you next time.
All right, I'm going to go be a parent.
Have fun.
I will.
All right. Bye.
Bye.